Hey guys, it's Space here. Just going to quickly take you through dngearsim. So first of all, you would get prompted for your region. It's quite important to choose the right region because the gear is different for different regions. But if you want to see the latest stuff that's coming, you can choose Korean region here. Then you probably want to use the translation override to show the English text instead of the Korean text. But we'll just leave that off for now and we'll go into the North American region. Before we set up a build or anything, we can start using the search, and this lets us find stats of any new items. So we can look at the stats of, say, the engineer set new costume here. As well as just looking at the stats, we can also see some of the costs. So if we look at, say, the light gems here, when we're upgrading these, we've got the show enhancement info, and it'll tell us when we're upgrading what the costs are. So we can go right up, see like, okay, what's the cost of upgrading to level 1293? The main thing is actually making a build. So let's go in and create a build here. These builds are all saved in the web browser. If you did want to get your own backup or share on another computer, you can export the builds, or there's an option to publish them online and you can share a link to your build with somebody else. So let's start off. We'll create an Inquisitor. It's going to default some options. If you're not an elemental class, you want to set these elements to the element you're converting to, because it'll use these to calculate your damage score. Maybe some classes like Crusader might want to change the default damage type. But everything else, except for hero level, should be set up fine, because that's going to be based on your character. So let's create a Inquisitor. Like I said, if you want to save this, we can export this. So now we want to start adding things in. So you just want to go through each category of equipment and add all the items. So we'll start with titles. Probably the easiest way to find your title is to use the search. So this is the same as I showed before. Just type in the name, and then we can click on the title, or we have a handy use button here. If we want to use that, we'll add that into our test Inquisitor build. This use isn't so great for things that need enhancing, so if we want to find like a ice dragon flail, for example, it's just going to put a raw flail in, so we need to set the enhancement level. But any item we click on, we can set that up, and then we'll be able to add that in here. So the other way of finding items, instead of using the search, it's probably easier for most of the categories, is this quick add. So this will just take us through a little wizard that'll let us find the item we're looking for. So if I want to get my Ice Dragon shield, we're at level 90, and say we want a unique shield, then there's our shield. And we choose enhancement 10, so that's all set up and added. So it's just a case of going through and we'll just add in each item, so level 90 headgear, one by one like that. It's actually pretty nice to use the search for the costumes, especially if you're using all the same type. So if I'm going full engineer, I can just use here. So I want to add that hat and the coat and the pants, the gloves. And I've already got the hat on that one. There's something I want to show you as well. Once we're all set up, one of the reasons to set up your builds in here is to see what we could do when we upgrade. So, for example, say I've just set up this character with that engineer costume, but I might say I want to upgrade to the marine hat. Maybe somebody told me that's a good hat to use. On the use option, when we go to replace this, we can see the damage here. So actually, that's not better, that's much worse. We lose 4%. So I wouldn't upgrade from engineer to marine hat.